The United States government faces another potential shutdown, a situation that has become all too familiar in recent years. The political landscape is once again fraught with tension as lawmakers scramble to find a solution. The deadline is mid-March 2025, and the clock is ticking. As the days pass, the pressure mounts on both sides of the aisle to come to an agreement. This crisis centers on funding the government, a perennial issue that affects millions of Americans. From federal employees to everyday citizens, the impact of a shutdown can be far-reaching and severe. Former President Donald Trump has inserted himself into the situation, adding another layer of complexity. His influence on the Republican Party remains strong, and his opinions carry significant weight. He is advocating for a clean continuing resolution, or CR, which would temporarily fund the government without any additional policy changes or spending cuts. Trump believes this is the best way to keep the government operating smoothly while avoiding a shutdown. His proposal aims to buy more time for a more comprehensive budget agreement. He criticizes the Biden administration's handling of the budget, arguing that their approach has led to unnecessary financial instability and uncertainty. This is not the first time a shutdown has been threatened. Over the past decade, the government has faced multiple shutdowns, each with its own set of challenges and consequences. It is a recurring issue in Washington, a symptom of deeper political divisions and a lack of bipartisan cooperation. The two parties often clash over spending priorities, with each side holding firm to their principles and policy goals. The CR has become a common tool to avert disaster, a temporary fix that allows the government to continue functioning while more permanent solutions are debated. A clean CR, or continuing resolution, is a temporary funding bill passed by Congress. It keeps the government funded at existing levels, ensuring that federal agencies can continue to operate without interruption. This means no new spending programs are added, and no existing programs see cuts, maintaining the status quo. A clean CR provides stability in the short term, preventing a government shutdown. It allows lawmakers more time to negotiate a full budget, giving them a chance to address more complex issues. However, critics argue that clean CRs maintain the status quo, delaying necessary reforms and adjustments to government spending. They believe that relying on clean CRs prevents the government from making important changes to address emerging needs and priorities. This ongoing debate over the use of clean CRs highlights the deep divisions in Congress, reflecting broader disagreements about fiscal policy and government priorities. Rep. Chip Roy from Texas supports Trump's call for a clean CR. Roy is a fiscal conservative. He wants to rein in government spending. He believes that a clean CR will buy time. This will allow the Department of Oversight for Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to identify areas for cuts. Roy argues that Congress needs to carefully consider the fiscal year 2026 budget. He sees a clean CR as a responsible approach to a complex problem. Section 4. Speaker Johnson's stance and potential spending adjustments. House Speaker Mike Johnson from Louisiana has a slightly different view. He agrees that a continuing resolution, or CR, is necessary, but he suggests that some anomalies could be added. These anomalies would be adjustments to spending levels. They wouldn't be a full-blown budget negotiation. One potential target for cuts is USAID, the agency that manages foreign aid. However, any changes to spending will likely face opposition from Democrats. Section 5. Republican divisions and White House's proposed changes. This section delves into the internal conflicts within the Republican Party and the contrasting proposals from the White House. Not all Republicans are on board with a clean, continuing resolution. The party is divided, with some members pushing for more stringent measures and others advocating for a more moderate approach. Representative Eli Crane from Arizona is skeptical. He questions its effectiveness, arguing that it doesn't address the root issues and merely kicks the can down the road. Representative Ralph Norman from South Carolina shares this view. He believes that without significant changes, the resolution will fail to bring about any real progress. He wonders about the purpose of DOGE if its findings are ignored. Norman argues that the government needs to take these findings seriously to ensure accountability and transparency. Meanwhile, the White House has its own ideas. They are pushing for a series of changes that they believe will better serve the American people. They proposed a list of spending changes which includes increases for some programs. These changes are aimed at addressing critical areas that have been underfunded for years. One example is the Housing Choice Voucher Program. The White House wants to expand this program to help more low-income families find affordable housing. They also want to rescind funds allocated to the IRS by the Inflation Reduction Act. This move is controversial, with some arguing it will hinder the IRS's ability to function effectively. The coming weeks will be critical. Lawmakers will need to negotiate and find common ground to avoid a government shutdown. The outcome of this budget battle will have significant implications for the country. It will determine the direction of federal spending and the priorities of the government for the foreseeable future.